deep within the soul. Deep within every soul lies a profound sorrow or struggle that, at times, others simply cannot fully comprehend or share throughout a lifetime. All difficulties and obstacles must be faced and overcome in solitude, quietly resolved within oneself. Life, too, cannot forever bestow upon you only good fortune and happiness. There will be times when it demands you taste every bitter drop. Joy and sorrow are integral to this earthly existence. Bitterness and sweetness define the very essence of life itself. No matter how profound the suffering, after a night's rest, release it all into the past with gratitude and continue living. Never forget kindness. Even a tree that reaches immense heights cannot survive without its roots. Similarly, a person, no matter their circumstances, must never forget the kindness shown to them. Throughout life, one should always remember those who lent money in times of poverty, those who offered support during hardship, those who shared both sweet and bitter times in sorrow, those who cooked meals and prepared medicine during illness, those who loved genuinely even when one had nothing, and those who patiently guided when one was lost. Consistently remembering and practicing gratitude will win people's hearts. Those who win hearts will earn respect, and those who are respected undoubtedly possess true character in life. Principles for living. As a person, having a little less money is acceptable, but never allow your spirit to be impoverished or your vision to be narrow due to financial constraints. Even if you cannot reach glorious heights, strive to be a useful individual. Your physical appearance may not be striking, but never let your inner self become ugly. Kindness and integrity are not dependent on outward looks but emanate from within the soul. Being a bit small in stature is fine, but avoid pettiness. No one appreciates those with narrow hearts. Even with a small frame and thin back, a benevolent heart can comfort and warm countless souls. Being a little physically frail is acceptable, but never allow your spirit to be weak. Weak-spirited individuals often become pessimistic and self-deprecating. Therefore, it is essential to cultivate a brave, resolute, and confident spirit. Being a bit slow with your hands or eyes is permissible, but never let your mind be muddled. Always remind yourself to maintain a clear heart and sharp intellect to see far and wide. Being a bit firm-hearted or detached is acceptable, but absolutely do not become so cruel and tyrannical that you transform yourself into a demon. If you don't descend into hell, who will? Being a bit intelligent is fine, but certainly do not presume yourself exceptional while viewing everyone else as foolish. Otherwise, the only truly ignorant person in this world will be you. Being a little lazy occasionally is acceptable, but never become a perpetually idle person. Tasks that need doing should be completed diligently and wholeheartedly. Cultivate a spirit of contribution if you don't wish to be a parasite clinging to society. Being a bit thrifty is fine, but don't be overly calculating about money. Otherwise, you'll develop a habit of judging others by their wealth, and sooner or later, you'll become a slave to it. Being a bit tolerant is good, but don't let others disrespect or exploit your leniency to continue making mistakes. No matter what, always maintain your own principles and self-respect. Enduring a bit of hardship is acceptable, but don't let suffering persist without a way out. You must learn to rise above it. The law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect dictates that if you perceive the strengths in everyone and find meaning in every event, you will experience a joyful life and see the world as truly beautiful. Conversely, if you confront life with a troubled heart, everything will appear as a karmic burden, and the world will become ugly and hateful. Many hope to be more beautiful. The best way to achieve true beauty is to maintain an inner purity and a joyful spirit. This kind of beauty makes those around you feel at ease, without any sense of aversion. In truth, what we receive in this life is the result of our past actions, and what we do now will bear fruit in the future. Life unfolds in this continuous cycle. Understanding this allows us to curb many negative thoughts and avoid blaming heaven or others when things don't go our way. Blessings stem from diligence and a life of sacrifice. Cultivate compassion to help the poor, express heartfelt gratitude for kindness received, and maintain respect for all people and matters. If you have faith in these principles, you will avoid regrettable actions in life. Joyfully and consistently pursuing good deeds in the present will lead to a bright and peaceful tomorrow. What truly matters. There's no need to stubbornly cling to right or wrong. When misunderstood by others, choosing not to explain oneself is a mark of magnanimity. Time will ultimately reveal the truth of matters. Being harmed by others and choosing not to harbor resentment is an act of genuine kindness. The vicissitudes of life ebb and flow, and time will prove all things. Being falsely accused and not growing bitter is a sign of cultivated character. Time will illuminate the truth of good and bad qualities. In life, often what distinguishes one person from another is not how many things they see through, but rather what they choose to let go of and not dwell upon. A heart's capacity, whether vast or narrow, doesn't depend on how many people one knows, but on how many people one can truly embrace and forgive. Those who accept disadvantage are not necessarily at a loss. Sooner or later, they will receive worthy compensation. Those who concede or yield don't lose anything but perhaps a sliver of pride. In return, they gain people's respect, thus becoming even more esteemed. On conduct in life, a person with a fiery temper and a sharp tongue, no matter how good-hearted, will inevitably cause others to feel wary and keep their distance. Therefore, even if you possess valid arguments, it's wise to express them gently. Your principles should be firm, but your demeanor should be harmonious. Each act of forgiveness is an act of cultivating blessings. The broader your heart, the greater your blessings will be. Before you criticize others, first examine whether you yourself are perfect or if you still possess flaws. Only then should you speak. When faced with a situation, speaking less is better than speaking much. Speaking at the right moment is better than speaking less. Don't be overly harsh on those who make mistakes. However, distance yourself from those who refuse to acknowledge and correct their errors. Remember that yielding the first time is a sign of generosity, the second time is tolerance, but the third time risks becoming weakness. Don't shy away from being busy. Rather, fear idleness. Being occupied helps avoid gossip and trivial disputes, while excessive leisure often leads to a lack of meaningful joy. Don't fear being stabbed in the back. Worry instead about turning around and seeing someone you once treated with utmost sincerity. Don't hesitate to confide in friends. Fear only that your confided words might become a laughingstock in another's conversation as soon as you turn your back. What do you consider the highest form of communication? It is maintaining respect and patience even with those closest and most intimate to you. Knowing how to resolve worries is wisdom. Being able to share love is happiness. Just remember that the sun shines brightest, and parents bear the greatest kindness. Noble individuals are magnanimous, while petty people are often calculating. Keeping these insights in mind will guide you to appropriate conduct throughout your life. Live sincerely. Each person has only one life, whether short or long. Life continues day by day, whether with sorrow or joy. Every stage of life requires a certain pace, whether retreating or advancing. No one is perfect and no work is flawless. When encountering petty people, do not be calculating, as calculation only invites more trouble. When faced with complex matters, do not dwell too much, as dwelling only causes further exhaustion. The world is vast, and human hearts are complicated. How can one avoid meeting petty individuals? The earthly realm is deep, and worldly affairs are fleeting. How can one avoid encountering worries? Think moderately, see broadly. If you are wronged, simply resolve it silently and then smile with relief. If there is no sun, listen to the wind blow and watch the rain fall. If there are no fresh flowers, breathe in the scent of the countryside. If there is no applause, enjoy the tranquility of solitude. As time turns and years pass, do not complain, do not sigh, do not grieve, and do not scheme. Maintain a serene heart, walking steadfastly on the beautiful path. Cherish genuine emotions and preserve a positive mindset. When self-restraint is needed, take a deep breath to shift the atmosphere. When facing difficulties, think calmly and then change your perspective. When encountering failure, strive to try again to restore your confidence. Learn to face yourself, be open to life. Practice forgiving mistakes so that each day passes peacefully. Work with a humble attitude and live with a sincere heart. Maintain moderation. Even the most resilient people will eventually grow weary. Investing too much emotion can lead to heartache. Excessive enthusiasm in work can sometimes lead to misguided efforts. And words spoken too boastfully will become mere bragging. Since it is life, it cannot be without bitterness, sweetness, and all flavors in between. Since it is life, how can one avoid the warmth and coldness of human relationships? Who doesn't wish for a life that sails smoothly, free from pain? Who doesn't want to cherish bonds of affection, never abandoning or being abandoned? Some matters once clearly seen will feel lighter. Some people once truly understood will no longer trouble your mind. As a person, sometimes it's better not to be overly precise or demanding. There are times when even giving your whole heart and soul will still invite criticism. Simply being relaxed and carefree will free you from burdens. Just cherish the people in front of you. Do your work well, be sincere, kind, and have no regrets in your heart. All will receive a worthy recompense. Practice living lightly. Worldly habits often mean people don't care how much frustration you've endured, nor do they need to know your struggles and hardships. What they pay attention to is only the results you can contribute. So, when encountering life storms, simply remind yourself, after passing through the tempestuous zone, the sun will naturally appear. Don't waste your energy sighing and complaining in front of others, for even if you speak, they likely won't care. Some matters, once released, will feel lighter. Some people, when suddenly remembered, can also bring us happiness. A few pains, when understood deeply, will help us become stronger. Dwelling too much on a problem will make you endlessly revolve around it. In truth, no matter how simple a matter is, overthinking it will make it complex. Simply maintaining a calm mindset and an open heart will allow every situation to pass by simply and gently, leaving behind peaceful days in your life. Understanding and empathy. Understanding is like a bridge with paths on either side. Without a bridge, one cannot cross from one path to the other. Empathy is like an umbrella, providing those beneath it with a constant feeling of protection. Should these be absent, this world would become incredibly cold. Understanding helps us step out of darkness and into a new landscape. Just as crossing a bridge leads to a larger road, dark worries and troubles can transform into butterflies and fly away. The proverb says, "A step back opens up a boundless sky and vast ocean." Being tolerant of others is also a way of being kind to yourself. For when you forgive others, a smile will remain with you. No matter how wonderful a person is, they cannot be absolutely perfect. No matter how complete a relationship is, it cannot be without flaws. If you open your heart to embrace and accept with tolerance, you will find that this world is not as bad as you might have thought. In life's wondrous journey, merely meeting is a karmic connection that we should cherish. Don't let anger sweep away many good graces, leaving behind belated regrets. Because we all have worries, grievances, and many things that don't go as desired, we sometimes feel the whole world is dark and involuntarily lament how fragile human relationships are, like silk paper. In reality, the sun is always warm, and the morning light is bright every day. It's just that sometimes we stand in the shadows. Tolerating others is not weakness at all, but a demonstration of magnanimity and a wise choice. Let us build bridges of understanding together, raise umbrellas of empathy, and share the most beautiful aspects of life so that the world may always be filled with the warm light of the sun. Open your heart to forgive. Life will inevitably bring undesirable situations and encounters with disagreeable people. If you cannot take them lightly and let them go, you will live in constant trouble and exhaustion. Among people, due to differing knowledge, varied perspectives, and diverse upbringing, the way problems are perceived and handled differs. Therefore, occasional clashes, conflicts, or disagreements are quite normal. In such moments, forgiveness becomes a matter of grace and a method of self-cultivation. It acts as an umbrella that can protect you, helping you move forward through the storms of life. Forgiving others sometimes requires a small sacrifice, a magnanimous heart, or a slight disadvantage. This is by no means weakness or feebleness, but rather a way to make your path wider and more open. Life is also like the sky. It cannot always be clear and pleasant for your enjoyment, but will sometimes be gloomy, causing you sadness. Life cannot forever bestow upon you only good fortune and happiness. There will be times when it demands you taste every bitter and sweet experience. Therefore, open your heart, cultivate a habit of forgiveness, and move past the people and situations that cause you distress. You will find yourself standing at a higher vantage point, gazing far across the horizon. Just enough joy and sorrow. When praised by others, a little joy is sufficient. Do not hastily take it as truth, for most flattery is intended to win favor. Do not let such sweet words deceive you. When criticized by others, a little sadness is acceptable, but never express anger, as there is usually some truth in it regarding your own shortcomings. Correcting oneself is the essential task. If life were truly painful, you would have no time to lament. If life were excessively arduous, where would you find the strength to complain? It is precisely because things have not yet reached their absolute worst that you still have the emotional capacity to cry and narrate your grievances. No matter where or when, remember that you live for yourself. Therefore, whatever you do, as long as it aligns with your conscience and fulfills your personal duties, it is enough. Destiny is born from within. When you choose your path, you are also deciding your fate. Don't dwell too much on the past. Live fully in the present and direct your vision towards the future. Tomorrow will surely be beautiful. The flow of water. Life passes by very quickly. If you can transcend fleeting fame and illusory gains, then you can touch upon true realities. When life presents complex matters, resolve them gently and discard unnecessary entanglements, so that with a tranquil heart, you can move forward. Yielding to others helps avoid petty struggles and competitions. Casting your gaze far ahead will allow you to see the rainbow after the rain. Packing your baggage lightly will make your journey of thousands of miles more relaxed and comfortable. In truth, the most beautiful scenery is not seen with the eyes but felt with the heart. Deep emotions don't need to be spoken aloud. They can still be recognized through actions. Whenever you are displeased, remember the nature of water. Always gentle, soft, silently absorbing and transforming all things without argument or contention. If everyone could cultivate themselves to that level, why would we worry that the world would not be peaceful or human hearts not be calm? The value of adversity. You may know many people, but how many truly help you? It doesn't matter if you have many or few relatives. See how many people truly notice you when you encounter difficulties. Those who dine with you daily may not necessarily help you when problems arise. Friendship needs quality, not quantity. A cartload of potatoes cannot compare to a single shining gem. I have a cake. If I share half with you, that is friendship. If I take only one bite and then give the rest to you, that is love. If I give it entirely to you, that is mother's love. But if I hide it and tell you I'm hungry, that is the way of the world. A man who experiences poverty once will see who truly loves him. A woman who is once deemed unattractive will recognize who will never abandon her. A life that suffers hardship once will truly understand who cares for them wholeheartedly. True companionship is not about sticking together because of wealth. True appreciation is not about caring because of beauty. Time cannot preserve wealth or physical beauty, but it can preserve sincerity. Days and months cannot spontaneously create feelings or truth, but they can help you discern the genuine from the false in people's hearts. Change your path. If you have traveled a long way and see no hope, you should change direction. If you have thought about a matter extensively yet cannot untangle the knot in your heart, then you should let it go. If, after a long association with certain people, you still cannot feel their sincerity, then distance yourself from them. If a lifestyle you've adopted for a long time fails to bring you joy, then you should choose to change it. No need to be so black and white. There is a saying, water that is too clear has no fish. A person who is too critical has no friends. If you argue with family and win, you lose family affection. If you are overly calculating with your lover and gain clarity, the love itself will fade. If you compete with friends and emerge victorious, the friendship will cease to exist. When debating, people often focus solely on logic, forgetting that what is lost is affection, and what remains is self-inflicted hurt. What is black remains black, and what is white remains white. It is best to let time prove everything. Let go of your stubbornness. Use a tolerant heart to observe people and situations. Add a little enthusiasm, a little calmness and warmth, and your life will always be bathed in sunshine, and you will be a winner throughout your life. In life, living is a process of self-reflection. Don't aspire for everyone to understand you, and don't expect everything to go your way. Life has no fixed template. All you need is a pure and passionate heart. When troubles arise, find your own joys. Don't forget about happiness. No matter how busy you are, remember to retain a bit of youthful spirit. Don't compromise your health. When tired, pause and rest. Don't lose the joy of life. In life, as long as you always remember your destination in your heart and know what you are doing and where you are now, you can rest assured that you will not get lost. Remind yourself. Always respect others and cultivate tolerance and appreciation. The ocean becomes vast because it embraces hundreds of rivers. Appreciate friends for their support and rivals because they make you stronger. In this life, there are two things we cannot avoid doing: moving forward or pausing. Are you approaching these with a positive mindset? A positive mindset is the best companion, helping us stay joyful and healthy. With those close or strangers, if you have the chance to interact, you should know how to give and maintain good relationships. For lighting no incense on ordinary days but clinging to Buddha's feet in an emergency is futile. Therefore, one must accumulate goodwill just like a bank account. The more you deposit and the longer the time, the higher the interest. When faced with matters, do not be impatient. Do not draw hasty conclusions, especially when angry. You must know how to put yourself in different positions to understand, making big problems small and small problems disappear. When encountering complex issues, you should deal with them gently and absolutely do not make simple things complicated. It is essential to have a sense of knowing enough. Most of life's troubles stem from pointless comparisons. In this world, there are people not as good as you, and naturally, there are also those you cannot compare to. When you complain about not having beautiful shoes, remember those who don't even have feet to walk. If your opponent makes you angry, it proves you still haven't overcome them. Turning around to see who is cursing you is fundamentally unnecessary. Just as if you were bitten by a mad dog, would you really bite it back to vent your anger? Therefore, there's no need to pay too much attention to the malicious words of others. Don't view work as a burden. Instead of complaining and being irritated, it's better to face it cheerfully and positively. See work as life, as art. You will then enjoy the happiness it brings. To live another day is a blessing, so know how to cherish it. Life is merely a few short decades. One should not do things that lead to deep regret. The sun rises from the eastern sea and sets behind the western mountains. Sadness will pass, and joy will also be a day. If you don't dwell on useless gossip, your life will be serene, and your spirit will be light. Remember others' virtues to cultivate your own morality. Perhaps we often make a common mistake, becoming accustomed to someone's kindness, and the moment they make a slight oversight, we immediately forget all the good things they have done. People often remember the shortcomings and mistakes of others, enjoying scrutinizing their flaws and deeming them inferior. Thus, the more they look, the more they see others as weak. The more they observe, the harder it is to accept. In truth, looking at others is like looking in a mirror. If you frown and glare, you will certainly receive an unpleasant reflection. From that, both you and the other person feel unhappy. A slight awkwardness of another person can appear greatly exaggerated in our eyes when we are displeased. Yet, having to confront it feels as irritating as a needle in the eye or a thorn in the skin. One must remove it to feel comfortable. Remembering others' mistakes is using their wrongs to punish yourself, making you unhappy and living in constant discomfort. Therefore, remember the good points of others and be a little more tolerant of their flaws. Over time, you will find that everyone has something worthwhile to learn from. If only good things reside in your heart, how beautiful the world will be. Remembering the good points of others is far better than clinging to their mistakes and carrying a heart full of resentment and lingering pain throughout life. Don't hurt those who love you. Do we often make this mistake? Being polite and courteous to strangers, but frequently nagging those closest to us? A small favor from a passerby earns our immense gratitude. Yet, no matter how much our loved ones worry for us, we often remain unsatisfied. We often direct our bad moods and grumpy faces towards those by our side, while reserving our patience and tolerance for casual passersby. Whenever you feel like expressing resentment or blame, remember that loved ones are a peaceful sanctuary that shelters you from life's storms, not a receptacle for your bad moods. In this world, no one is good to you without a reason, but loved ones can be. For your sake, they can accept everything, sometimes even sacrificing more. The reason we can hurt someone is precisely because they care for and love us. Therefore, treat those who love you well. Don't cause them pain. 3 types of matters in life. In life, there are 3 main types of matters. First, your own matters. For example, what to do today, what to eat, whom to help, whether to be happy or sad. All of these are decided by yourself. Second, others' matters. For instance, a certain man is lazy, another woman's marriage is unhappy, a friend betrayed me, or why isn't my help appreciated? These are matters controlled by others. Third, matters of heaven and earth. Typically, these include rain, wind, thunder, lightning, natural disasters, and epidemics. These are events beyond human capacity. Most of our worries stem from forgetting our own matters, preferring to meddle in others' affairs, and overly fretting about issues of heaven and earth. To achieve peace and freedom, simply take care of your own matters, don't pry into others' business, and don't disturb the affairs of heaven and earth. Therefore, whenever you feel troubled or uneasy, consider, whose matter is this ultimately? You will then know how to resolve it. Choices, whether with friends or loved ones. No need for eloquent words. Genuine sincerity is enough. No need for grand vows. Simply fulfilling what you say is enough. No need to analyze gains and losses. Mutual understanding is enough. No need for suspicion or speculation. Empathy and trust are enough. No need for fervent eagerness. Gentle tolerance is enough. No need to be inseparable. Having each other in your hearts is enough. No need for passionate intensity. Steadfast commitment is enough. No need for immense wealth. Peace and good health are enough. Choose the right profession and you'll succeed for a lifetime. Choose good friends and you'll be wise for a lifetime. Choose a suitable environment and you'll be joyful for a lifetime. Choose a virtuous soulmate and you'll be happy for a lifetime. Choose an optimistic way of living and you'll be peaceful for a lifetime. Don't do these things. Don't comment on whether others are good or bad, because they have no bearing on your livelihood. Don't discuss others' morality, high or low, because you may not necessarily be more noble than them. Don't judge other people's families, because it has absolutely nothing to do with you. Don't judge others' education, because in this world, what everyone truly lacks is knowledge. Don't spend wastefully because you might be jobless tomorrow. Don't be arrogant or conceited, because you might fall from grace in the future. Don't try too hard to prove yourself. Know that in this world, no one is entirely inferior to you. Be a little humble. Don't rely too much on others, because everyone in this life has many things to worry about. When they have free time, they just want to rest. Don't do things that harm others, because sooner or later, retribution will find you. Never waste time admiring others' lives, no matter how wealthy or prosperous they are. Nor should you comment on whether someone is happy or not, even if they appear lonely or without close relatives, because happiness is like drinking hot or cold water. Each person feels it for themselves. Don't comment on anyone's personality, because that is their personal matter. The shortcomings of others that you observe are precisely the deficiencies in your own self-cultivation. True beliefs. Happiness is to be felt, not merely to be seen. Life is to be experienced, not to be calculated. Affection is to connect, not to test. Parents are to be honored with filial piety, not to be demanded from. Friends are to share with, not to compare against. Loved ones are to be cared for, not to be hurt. Money is to be spent, not to be measured by. Fame is for contribution, not for boasting. Material possessions are for use, not for ostentation. Trust is for certainty, not for generating pressure. Forgiveness and trust. When someone intentionally hurts you, forgive them, but never place your trust in them again. Forgiving others is letting go for your own sake, but continuing to trust blindly is giving others another opportunity to harm you. We should believe that everyone can correct their mistakes, but let life be the test of that. Even if you have 1,000 reasons to be sad, find one reason, one story that makes you happy. No matter how cruel the world may be, all you need to do is maintain a light heart. Let go of all disagreeable people and matters, and live in your own present moment. If you know how to take care of yourself, do not rely on others, and persistently move forward, you will surely see light and warmth on the path ahead. Remind yourself to stop overthinking. In life, when an opportunity arises, remember not to claim all the benefits for yourself. After a lifetime of striving for gain, know when enough is enough and stop. Even if you are right, do not relentlessly pursue an argument. Worldly arguments, even if debated for 1,000 years, will never end. Achieving victory often means losing your kindness and gentle spirit. Even if you possess exceptional talent, never mock others. Comparing people easily leads to hurt. Comparing objects often results in having to discard one. As a person, if you appear too clever, those around you will become suspicious. Being overly perfectionistic will easily lead to resentment. And if you are too arrogant, people will distance themselves from you. Excessive thinking will generate worries. Paying too much attention to minute details will only obsess you. Desiring too much is what truly exhausts oneself. Only when your heart feels happy will your days be relaxed and free. Only with a liberated body and mind will you find life worth living. Cherish those beside you, for after this life, you may not meet again. Seize the opportunity to enjoy present joys, for in the blink of an eye, they might be gone. Embrace a little simplicity. Humans are both very simple and very formidable. A benevolent heart can embrace all matters. A malicious heart can harm countless people. If you are too cunning, others will distance themselves. If you are too harsh in your work, you will easily incur resentment. If you are determined to fight to the end in every matter, trying to win every slight advantage, ultimately what you lose is people's goodwill, and you yourself become petty. Therefore, when facing money and benefits, it's wise to be a little foolish to maintain harmony. When dealing with matters of gratitude and obligation, being a little foolish will keep your conscience clear. When arguing over fame or words, be a little foolish to avoid tiring your mind. When hearing false rumors, be a little foolish to keep them from entering your ears. No one is perfect. Each individual has a different style. Although some may admire, some may envy, or some may feel discontent, deep down, everyone hopes not to get entangled in such things. Truly wise people will not live too cunningly, scheming all day long. They will be a little foolish to preserve their kindness and stay away from endless struggles. Life is short. Knowing contentment brings ease. Life is bustling. Being a little foolish brings freedom. Retain a bit of sincerity. To scrutinize the faults of others means you yourself are not good. To criticize others' shortcomings is, in itself, not a good thing. If you use your own capacity to judge others, then no one will ever be perfect. Intending to push your opponent to the brink may indeed lead them to a dead end, but it will only harm you by leaving you with no way to retreat. Constantly scrutinizing the good and bad deeds of others will not cause anyone to lose anything, but it will leave you with no time to look up at the vast sky and earth. A person who is too dictatorial will have no friends. A heart that is too selfish will only exhaust itself. Only love can create true affection, and only with love can one embrace the entire world. When you have time, you should sit quietly and reflect on your own mistakes. When you are free, do not comment on the good or bad deeds of others. Words, though not directly harming the body, can easily damage one's virtue. There is no evil karma of the mouth greater than the sin of slander. Therefore, be careful when speaking. Avoid saying things that are not true. Even in jest, there should be limits. When accusing someone, do not say everything. Retain some verbal virtue. When scolding others, remember not to be too harsh. Maintain a degree of magnanimity. Even if you are right, do not pursue the argument to its bitter end. Retain some tolerance. When handling matters, do not be overly severe. Leave a way for retreat. Accepting others is opening up to yourself. Empathizing with those around you helps you become more magnanimous. A tolerant person is so because they know how to treat life with a kind heart. A person of quality is one who always interacts with others with respect. A cultivated person is demonstrated by their gentle demeanor towards all people and matters, and by their consideration for others, which makes them worthy of everyone's attention. Only by respecting others will you be respected by life. If you treat everything with a gentle mindset, your heart will naturally become serene. Without contention or struggle, there will be no worry and no fear. Self-reflection. Sometimes, a single malicious word can lead to a conflict. A kind remark can give rise to many good things. At times, advising someone requires thousands of words, yet sometimes, just one sentence is enough to destroy everything. Therefore, every word spoken needs to be uttered with extreme caution and fully considered to avoid regret. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. If you just learn from the good things and limit criticism, anyone can become your teacher, helping you to improve yourself. Instead of constantly noticing others' strengths, admiring, or envying them, it's better to turn your gaze inward, reflect on yourself, and earnestly learn. Instead of always scheming to ensure others don't surpass you, it's better to quietly strive to make yourself stronger. Sometimes, looking back at the things that once caused us worry and confusion, they seem hardly worth mentioning. At other times, reviewing things that made us suffer and wander, they feel as light as a passing breeze. Therefore, when encountering any matter, one should not be hasty or stubborn. A little sobriety, a little calmness, a little broad-mindedness, and in this world, there is nothing that cannot be lightly released. Preserve trust. Someone who dares to confide their whole heart trusts you. Remember not to spread their secrets. Someone who dares to lend you money trusts you. Remember not to break that trust. Someone who dares to reveal their weaknesses trusts you. Remember not to cause them harm. Whether it's familial love, friendship, or romantic love, everyone fears offering sincerity only to receive betrayal, placing ultimate trust only to end up empty-handed. Trusting someone is like handing over your entire heart. Believing in someone is giving them your whole self, so utmost caution is required. If placed in the wrong hands, it can become a weapon that turns back to stab you. In life, if you want to be trusted, make yourself worthy. If you keep your word, everyone will want to befriend you. If you are earnest, people will rely on you. If you are genuinely sincere, life will willingly place its full trust in you. Cultivate a kind heart. In daily relationships, everything has its own karmic connections. Between people, if you view someone as a bodhisattva, they will appear as saintly individuals. If you see others as demons, they will become frightening figures. It's like looking in a mirror. If you smile, you will receive a joyful face in return. If you frown and look gloomy, you will see a sorrowful expression. The same applies among friends. If you treat them with respect and deference, they will respond gently and courteously. But if you contemptuously yell at them, you will receive dissatisfaction and scorn. Therefore, in life, one should be sincere with friends, affectionate with family, tolerant with loved ones, and forgiving with enemies. If you consistently maintain kind intentions and good conduct towards everyone, they will gradually sense it and respond accordingly. When your heart is filled with beautiful things, your quality of life will also improve accordingly. The scenery changes with the heart. If the kindness in your heart is great enough, it will manifest on your face and then spread to your surroundings, leading to sweet and positive outcomes. Practice living. Life is inherently not easy. Every family has its own circumstances, and every person has their unique suffering. So never mock anyone. Respecting others is also respecting yourself. No matter how glorious a person may be, behind them will be hidden pains. No matter how happy someone appears, deep down they will have some worries and awkward feelings. No one's life is absolutely perfect. Life will always encounter unpredictable betrayals, so do not be too complacent. Practice living sincerely and humbly, treating others a little better to create blessings for yourself. Things inherently have no common template. Nothing is entirely fixed. But as long as you have direction, faith, and definite perseverance in your heart, you will see the light on the path ahead. Types of people to cherish. A person who often takes the initiative to spend money does so not because they are wealthy, but because they value relationships and goodwill more than money. A person who often yields benefits to others does so not out of foolishness, but because they deeply understand the principle of sharing. A person who does more work than everyone else is not foolish, but possesses a high sense of responsibility. A person who is the first to apologize does so not because they believe they are wrong, but because they value that relationship. A person who offers to help you does so not because they owe you, but because they consider you a very close friend or family member. If you encounter these types of people in life, I hope you will skillfully preserve these relationships. Things not to do. Parents have bestowed kindness. Do not be unfilial. Spouses share a destiny. Do not grow weary of each other. Children are close kin. Do not abandon them. Relatives are family. Do not discriminate. Feelings are voluntary. Do not force them. Friends are companions. Do not sever ties. Affection needs nurturing. Do not be calculating. Beautiful women are countless. Do not become infatuated. Good wine should be drunk with moderation. Do not be greedy. Gambling is dangerous. Do not become addicted. Superstition deceives people. Do not be fooled. What is saved belongs to others. Do not hoard. Desires are endless. Do not be excessive. Anger harms yourself. Do not be resentful. Life is for joy. Do not be sad. Misunderstandings are hard to avoid. Do not be discouraged. Opportunities are rare. Do not miss them. Learning is boundless. Do not limit it. Helping others is righteous. Do not overlook it. Labor is glorious. Do not be lazy. Exercise needs to be frequent. Do not interrupt it. Human life is short. Do not waste it. Fate often fluctuates. Do not panic. The body needs care. Do not harm it. Life is precious. Do not take it lightly. Safety is paramount. Do not forget it. Peace is happiness. Do not disturb it. Lessons from undesirable things. A finger, even if dirty, cannot simply be cut off. If a hat doesn't fit, there's no need to try and adjust the size of your head. When one door closes, another horizon will naturally open up. The only question is whether you choose to see it. When you feel suffering, the first thing you need to break down is stubbornness. The only question is whether you are willing to let go. Throughout a lifetime, people do everything just to acquire grand houses and wide doors. In reality, simply sitting gently on a stone bench under a humble thatched roof is enough to enjoy the delight of tranquility. You cannot seek a perfect life. In life, no matter how good you are, you cannot gain everyone's affection. Regardless of how well you live, there will be those who praise and those who criticize. No matter how successful you become, people will still comment on its good and bad aspects. Where there is admiration, there will also be resentment. If someone is envious, there will surely be others who dismiss you entirely. Life is like this, you cannot please everyone. So, don't lose your true self trying to satisfy others. Everyone needs their own principles and self-respect. Through the mouths of others, we are not one complete person, but rather many different versions. You only need to be a good original version of yourself. Because people's eyes may be similar, their perspectives differ. Their mouths may be similar, but each person speaks differently. Their hearts are structurally similar, yet their thoughts are vastly different. Money may be the same, but each person's spending habits vary. Right or wrong, good or bad, depend on differing stances. Different circumstances lead to different views. Even as human beings, each individual has a unique way of life. You must confidently walk on your own 2 feet. Eagles spread their wings and soar without applause. Grass grows on its own without needing human care. Wildflowers deep in the mountains still emit their sweet fragrance, even if no one appreciates them. When working, you don't need everyone to understand. Just give it your best. When living, you don't need everyone to love you. Just be honest and magnanimous. Flowers come in hundreds of shapes and thousands of varieties, yet they can still display their beauty and fragrance without hindrance. In life, each person has their own style. Why not support each other to rise instead of tearing each other down? If something feels worthy, cherish it. If you are happy, preserve it. If someone makes you joyful, stay close to them. If you are moved, love them. To be human, if one says it's easy, it's not entirely easy. For swaying thousands of hearts or managing the tongues of the world is certainly not simple. To be human, if one says it's difficult, it's not entirely difficult. Simply maintaining a kind and virtuous heart and walking your own path is enough. A human life is not actually very long. Since you have come this far, you might as well live a little more beautifully. Sincere friends. You cherish someone because you have surely been moved by them. When you decide to distance yourself from someone, it must be due to some level of disappointment. You cannot judge a person based on their appearance. Only after long interaction can their true nature be seen. Do not hastily comment on matters of affection and loyalty. Only by enduring hardship will genuine feelings become clear. In life, only when you fall into an abyss will you know who tries to fill the pit with stones, and who helps you stand firm. A sincere friend is one who can walk with you from darkest night until the sun appears, who willingly stays with you through storms, and who remains until the very last moment when everyone else has departed. Such friendships are very precious and rare. Only those who live sincerely will have the chance to find them. Friendship is not about quantity. Its value lies in companionship through rain and shine. Affection is not judged by its duration. What matters is being able to rely on each other when needed. What is called heavy obligation or profound loyalty means that if you need something, and I have it, you will have it. What is called deep affection is not about making lavish promises in times of triumph, but about being able to offer a helping hand when it truly matters. On ordinary days, they might criticize or contradict you, but only those who share hardships when difficulties arise are true friends. Those who flatter effusively may not be sincere. Only those who are consistent when needed are worth relying on. A good karmic connection does not depend on time. A beautiful friendship, once it arrives, will not depart. If there is destiny, it will come uninvited. If there is no destiny, you cannot force it. Even those who vow eternal love may turn their backs. Those who are truly sincere with you make no promises, yet remain caring and devoted. Regarding matters of fate, just live with all your heart, and letting the rest unfold naturally is always best. Suitability is happiness. In life, many things don't necessarily turn out well just because they align with your wishes. The sun does not fail to rise in the morning just because you are unhappy. The moon does not fail to set at the end of the night just because you complain. Covering your eyes does not mean the world will turn into darkness. Blinding others does not guarantee that the light will belong solely to you. In this world, only axes might not be sharp enough. There is no type of plant that cannot be cut down. In any task, it's only people who haven't thought of a method. There is absolutely nothing that cannot be achieved. If people want to, they will find a way. If not, they will find an excuse. Life is like a glass of water. Whether hot or cold, the right temperature makes it drinkable. The flavor, whether sweet, rich, or bitter, is delicious as long as it suits your taste. A melody, whether fast or slow, is pleasant if it suits your hearing. The 4 seasons revolve, be it spring, summer, autumn, or winter. If it suits your mood, it is all beautiful. All that matters is that it suits you. That is happiness. Define your own life. When you can let go of the past, value the present, and joyfully embrace the future, that is when you stand at a high point in your life. When you can tolerate all the undesirable things in life, focusing solely on responsibility without seeking personal gain, that is when you stand at a high point spiritually. When you can look forward with hope, look down with compassion, and treat those above you with a grateful heart, that is when you stand at a high point of the soul. Life not only requires foresight and insight, but also the ability to see all matters clearly and comprehensively. Foresight reveals the whole picture. Insight reveals that the bustling world is largely driven by the pursuit of fame and profit. Clarity doesn't mean an end to aspirations, but rather allows the mind to be peaceful and tranquil. The most terrifying aging for a person is not in their physical appearance, but in losing the spirit to constantly improve. One cannot change their outward form, but they can absolutely improve their inner character. When character changes, life will change accordingly. In the give and take of life's relationships, remember this: kindness, enthusiasm, and sincerity are likely to bring about good results. There are smiles that are more intimate than mere politeness, and they can bring warmth to the person facing you.